but I mean, I wanted to come back to you and your story because you said you came 7 years ago. So could you bring the audience through like why you came to Russia in particular, and then how you ended up with Chay? So as a and how that journey took, and I know it happened in a pub, I can suspect, but I'll let you fill in the blanks.
Yeah, so I finished high school back in 2015. And when I did that, I wanted to change of scenery. I love my country. I love everything about it. But at the same time, after living there for about 18, 20 years, I just wanted a change of scenery. And I chose Moscow because it's one of the closest world capitals to India. The flight between Moscow and Delhi, New Delhi, is about 6 hours. And it's very easy to get here. And India and Russia always had a special relationship. Even if you look back at the Soviet period, we had a very special relationship. So my family was very much okay with the fact that they, go to Moscow, do your bachelor's there, you'll be fine. And I had the stupid idea that everyone in Russia, of course, everyone in Europe, they all speak English, right? And I was up for a shock because nobody, I mean, you've noticed as well, I'm sure you've noticed as well, nobody here speaks English. Uh, yeah, yeah. So we had to learn Russian very fast in order to survive. I finished my bachelor's here and I loved it here, and there's this idea in the West, in most countries, that Russia is actually a very conservative country. People are very racist. And I just want to tell them that's actually not the case. In my 7 years here, I've never had any incident in which I was discriminated against or anything of that sort. So I really had a great time here. And, I never wanted to go anywhere else afterwards. I just said, I'm in Russia, beautiful city, in the city of Moscow, Petersburg, Sochi. I'm sure when you will actually be able to see the country, when you'll actually travel. I mean, you've been only here, what, 5 months? When you actually go.
I've seen Sochi. I've been to St. Petersburg briefly.
Yeah.
I've seen more. And then I've been to the Caucasus and I've been to Vladivostok. So.
And have you ever faced any discrimination because of the fact that you're not Russian or because you're from the United States, because a country that we're supposedly, fighting against in a proxy war? Did you ever feel any discrimination?
Not at all. In fact, people will, if they hear me speak English, they'll run up and be excited to see me. It's been the opposite. And once, I had a friend get lost who was supposed to meet me at a restaurant. And the waiter went and got my friend and led them to the restaurant because they didn't speak Russian. It's hilarious. Just so friendly and so warm.
Very welcoming people.
Very welcoming, very warm, very lovely. I've had nothing but good experiences. I only had one bad experience with a laundry delivery person who was sideways about how many bags of laundry I had and threw my socks down on the ground. But other than that,
yeah.
I don't want laundry either, so I kind of shared a sentiment, but whatever. But as far as people are just helpful, friendly, I have been lost and not said anything and just looking at my phone and trying to get my bearings, and people will even walk up and volunteer and they can just tell that I speak English. It's kind of interesting.
And you'll get lost pretty often nowadays because I mean, as you know, the GPS in Moscow is not working at the moment because of all the drone strikes we've had. They're blocking all the GPS signals. So most of our navigation systems have gone a bit haywire, but I mean, that's the cost. That's the price we have to pay because I mean, we don't want all these drones flying at us. I've had a very hard time navigating through Moscow in the last few months because of the situation. But I mean, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, is it?
And the metro here is so efficient.
Yeah.
As well as Russian. It's
as long as the metro knows where to go, I think we're quite safe. We're covered in the whole navigation area.
And it's cool. You can and we don't talk about this very often, but you can rent the bikes, bicycles.
Yeah.
You can rent scooters. A lot of people love the scooters. Shay forbade me from using a scooter. He said no. So
he uses a scooter himself.
he used it, but he told me I was not allowed to use a scooter. I might get hurt. And he's, he just said
Yeah, because the reason behind that is because people here, especially on scooters, they don't follow the rules of the road, because
no.
there are no rules of the road for scooters. So it's quite a difficult thing. And scooters won't be relevant in the next couple of months because the winter is coming and it's going to be really cold. I mean, I'm sitting outside the restaurant, and I'm freezing because I mean it's only September. Yeah, it's just crazy. But I
No.
want to show you. I want to show the viewers the Red Square live. So I mean, in a few minutes, I'll go to the Red Square, and I'm going to show you the beauty of the Red Square, because at night it's such a beautiful sight, and I think our viewers will be very happy to see it. But coming back to the point, how I met Chay. So I mean, if memory serves right, I think I met Chay in a bar. We were just sitting, and I think I was speaking in English, and he was speaking in English, and then we just started talking to each other. We started having beers, and then we started. Let's just start a show, and then we just did it, and it's going quite good. We just started the Moscow Mules, and we're just two guys sitting together having a beer.
Let me pause you right there, Uday. Well, because your intro for your show is so amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
That what you and Shay came up with. Reeve, could you put it up for the audience? I want them to see the intro to the show. There you have it. And you know what I love about your show, and besides, I love listening to Shay pontificate on geopolitical issues, which is always fun. But you bring also your knowledge of geopolitics and your perspective. You kind of have different perspectives sometimes. You also kind of nerd out on military stuff, which I think is good, because a lot of shows kind of touch on news, but they don't really get into, that aspect, which right now is really important to people because of what's, everything that's happening with the proxy war. So
exactly, because of the fact that the military is playing a very, very big role. The Russian military, the Ukrainian military, the NATO, the whole American military-industrial complex. I mean, it is a battle. It is a battle of different technologies. It really is. It really is a Cold War 2.0, to be honest. And we're very close. I mean, I don't really show it on the Moscow Mules, but I'm very afraid that an escalation might happen one of these weeks, one of these months, because if you analyze the trend, right, the Black Sea Fleet being attacked by NATO weapons, of course, they say that Ukraine is launching those NATO rockets, right? At the same time, the results of those attacks, the results of the Western weapons coming to Ukraine, the Russians will not just sit back and accept the fact, okay, NATO just supplied the weapons, it's all Ukraine, let's not escalate it beyond Ukraine. It is a very difficult situation. And we're very close to midnight, because if there are any more escalations, especially after the delivery of the F-16s to Ukraine, which can carry anti-ship missiles, air-to-ground missiles that can actually attack Russian positions, we don't know where this can escalate to. And I hope we won't see that day when it actually happens. But I mean, I don't want to scare you. I don't want to be that guy that says, "Oh shit might hit the fan very soon." But I think we are actually going to that point, unfortunately.
I've been sounding the alarm since 2019. I was on a podcast in 2019 when I first came forward, and one of the things I brought up, besides what happened, what Joe Biden did, is I brought up the fact that if he became president, that he would take us to war with Russia. So I got a lot of flack and a lot of heat.
And you're right. And you're actually right. This is what he brought us to. When Trump was president, We never had anything close to the situation that we have now. The East and the West, Russia and NATO were never this close to war when Trump was president. And that's what he always says. I mean, if you listen to any of Trump's speeches, we never had any active conflicts with Russia during my presidency. And that's what he always says. And he's actually right. And it's very strange. The Democrats, they always bring up this fact, oh, we are for peace, we are for liberals, we are for democracy and all that. But where is it right now? Where they're the most warmongering people that you will ever find, to be honest. And I don't understand.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I don't understand. I mean, maybe you can explain to me as an American, do they not have any sense where this might actually lead? Have they forgotten the fact that Russia has the world's biggest nuclear arsenal? If you push Russia to the corner, what's going to happen? I mean, do they not think about it? Does Victoria Nuland, does Anthony Blinken, does the Biden administration not understand Jens Stoltenberg, the head of NATO? Do they not understand where they're leading this conflict to?
They know exactly where they're leading it to. And this is where they want to lead it to. And I'll tell you why.